All right, good evening, my friends. It's Big Cheds coming to you live here on a Monday, December 17th, 2018. I just realized I've been talking to myself for the last couple minutes. So let's just catch it right up. You, of course, can find me on Twitter at Big Cheds, and you can find my good buddy on Twitter at Big Chonas, YouTube Chonas Trading, where we are working together at Bitcoin Live. I'm a proud teacher and analyst. And Big Chonas is a featured contributor. He's doing a lot of great work, and he has his own style. If you ever see us together doing a video, we're always arguing. So we're taking a look here at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's basically, it's broken out nicely from essentially a bearish continuation pattern. We've broken out of it now. We're putting in higher lows. And what I was talking about before is I put out a tweet after these two candles here. These are kind of like a gravestone doji, long-legged doji. You have a period here where the bears were rejecting higher prices and bulls were able to break through. And we've had some pretty decent follow-through since then. So, what we want to try to do in terms of following the trend, certain markers we want to be looking for. We're going to watch the EMA 8, this green line here. And we're going to want to see if the price is able to maintain this EMA 8, on pullbacks throughout this move. So let's just back out to the daily chart where I was starting. I'm going to remove that line. And earlier today, we were attempting to break the middle Bollinger, right, the MA20, for the first time in quite a while. It's the first time we're anywhere near the middle Bollinger since around November 12th, so over a month ago. So that's something to keep an eye on. That is a potential yellow light that that the trend is potentially could be changing, and we also want to look and see at the volume behind it. So we have a little about 25 minutes left in this daily candle, and there's some decent volume behind it. We had, of course, the bullish divergence here on the daily chart with the RSI and the Vigor Index and the stochastics, but we didn't really see it in the OBV. So, for me, being conservative, I was watching this EMA 8, holding it, kind of rejecting it. We have kind of all these rejections here at the EMA 8, and it looks like we're going to break through and close above it. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that, but that would be something of a good sign for the bulls. Let's just briefly check out Litecoin. I'll go through the rest of the major coins, and I'll jump right into the chat room and take those requests for you guys. So Litecoin, definitely relative volume. We can just see right off the bat it's nicer for Litecoin than it is for Bitcoin, right? So we can see like today's you see today's daily candle compared to like the prior couple weeks or so. Litecoin. Interestingly enough, I'm just seeing this now for the first time. Litecoin's candle here, this volume candle is the most in some time, since all the way back to the 20th of November. Compare it again to Bitcoin, right? Not the same. So, a lot of the times people will say, they're all the same, right? Like, why bother? Why bother looking at the Litecoin chart? It's just going to follow Bitcoin. Have you guys ever heard that? I know I've heard that a million times. So that's just one thing off the bat. Let's keep an eye on that, guys. If we're trying to figure out what's different, we have the volume. Other than that, let's see support. Just looking at the candlesticks. Okay, so Litecoin held a little better. You can see even before this push, today. I'm going to point this out here. Kind of on this. It's trying to form a low. Obviously, if you take this low, this is a lower low, right? But this kind of third low, even though it's the same, it's the same low, point I'm making is this is a little higher compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin was more like it kept going down. You see that, right? That's the difference as well. So there's potentially a little bit of a precursor in Litecoin. So it looked like, it's kind of a cleaner bottom potentially in Litecoin. Let's move over to Ethereum. Ethereum, we're at 94 bucks. So it looks like we're breaking, EMA 8, same as Bitcoin. But look how weak this volume is on Ethereum. Compare that to Litecoin's relative volume candle. So it looks like the traders, looks like the money's maybe going into Litecoin. I don't know what you guys think. Kind of, once you let me know there in the chat room, of course. But it's something to take a look at. Let's take a look at the BCH forks, ABC. We're going to have to go down. Let's go to like a 6-hour chart. on ABC. Okay. So we're trading below this key level. Let's remove this top one. So this looks like a very important area for a couple reasons. Support, support, support breakthrough, now resistance. So this is a very important area for ABC. If it's bullish, it may need to consolidate here for a little while, given kind of the strength of this resistance level. So it may need to kind of go sideways for a little bit and then maybe try it again. I would, keep an eye on that. But otherwise, it's still weak until proven otherwise. BCHSV, 6-hour chart. You do have a higher low. You have a lower high. You have an equilibrium pattern. Higher low, lower high. So somebody is going to be right somewhere around here. You can see in this tightening range, this is very crudely drawn, but you can kind of see in the tightening range is the point I'm trying to make. Like, you want to train yourself. You don't even need to draw a line most of the time if you can kind of just see the range. High, lower, high, right? So we're kind of seeing what's happening. Nice consolidation here over the last, like, whatever it is, 8 or so candles, though. So that's something to keep an eye on. This is pushing slowly higher. RSI has plenty of room to run. So this, I would say, looks a little bit better, perhaps in the short term. Yeah, perhaps a little bit better on this one. SV and ABC just right now. Let's jump right into the chat room. I see a bunch of there. I see Mr. T, Lisa, Phil, Pat, Sam, Philip, Waz, Labrador. So let's take a look at, let's do right away. Your first request that jumps right out to me is ZEC. And you guys can go ahead and hit, let me know those requests. And definitely please do hit that thumbs up button if you do like this video and appreciate this video. Let's take a look at ZEC. So ZEC is clearly trading below an important level, 6-hour. I'm going to go back to 12-hour. So you can see why this level is important. It was support. It's support. We kind of broke through broke through, kind of unable to hold it. Now we're back underneath it. So you kind of have a bullish continuation pattern inside a bearish continuation pattern. So essentially you have kind of a bull pennant right here inside a bear pennant, more or less. So you have to kind of see which way it breaks. This is probably going to continue lower, given that it's trading below the key level, and we have the OBV weakness. Let's take a look at, I've already done ETH for CDS. So C38HD, Ched, what do you expect Bitcoin would do in the short term? Okay. What's it going to do in the short term? Definitely review it back. I think it needs to consolidate here. I marked out some levels, and I'll circle back to Bitcoin at the end. So just hang on there. Let's see. ONT for Lisa. Okay, Ontology. Check out Ontology. Clearly, there's some nice volume there. I'm just going to move the candles up so we can see here. Wow. So, Ontology. Something's clearly up here on the 12-hour. This is an insane volume candle. Let's look closer to see exactly how it came in. Wow, look at this cluster. So that's actually very healthy. This 1-hour chart's pretty healthy, actually. Okay. So we had this bounce. We had the bearish harami pulled back. We now know it found support with the long-legged doji, high wave candle. And we're pushing back up again. It will have to deal with resistance. Candle close above that 1683. But overall, it looks okay. I wouldn't be surprised to see another leg here. Stochastics is resetting a little bit. And still have those higher lows in the RSI. I mean, yeah. This looks pretty healthy, and I like the volume. So, I hope that is helpful for you. Let's see there. Let's jump right around. I believe XRP for CERN. Edlearn. Okay. Let's go ahead and do XRP. XRP, BTC, hashtag the standard. So I'm on a 12-hour chart. Wow, okay. So very nice candle in progress. Still 15 minutes left, but price is, just eyeballing it. You can see the price is holding the key level. Resistance. Look at that consolidation period. Breakthrough, pullback. Support area, holding it. Kind of a high here, and then boom, just broke through that high. So that's pretty good. Nice volume here as well. You'd like to see some more continued volume. OBV topped off. Yeah, I mean XRP has looked pretty good for me, at least recently. With this consolidation, the tight range, the Bollinger pinch. What's going to happen next? This will need to consolidate, and it's really going to depend on what kind of type of follow-up volume you get. But I think it would be healthy to see some more sideways here. But resistance 96.55 definitely has to contend with that level. Served as clear support on the pullback here in November, late November. Resistance again. So I would definitely be watching that level. Let's jump right around. Z, I already did that one. ICX for CDS. Let's take a look at ICX. So I have a support level marked from before. So it looks like it's holding an important support level. I've kept this in mind. This looks somewhat interesting to me, actually. I think we should keep an eye on this. If you look at the support, it's holding some decent support here. And there's a good amount of volume behind this candle. It's probably going to put in a bit of an inverted hammer. But the name of the game now is going to be higher lows support. So if the price can continue to hold and close above, that 580 level, this could be in for a nice little pop, maybe to that high sixes even. So it's something to keep an eye on. BAT for Will. What's up, Will? Let's take a look at BAT, B-A-T. All right. Let's take a look at BAT. Wow, still trading sideways. So BAT's going to figure out what to do. I mean, one of these days, it's going to break out violently. Wow, look how tight the Bollingers are. That is notable. That is really, really notable. Now, it's been that tight recently, back in October, but not a lot of volume. Just a more consolidation. I mean, this, we have support. We clearly have higher lows, and we clearly have resistance. So, I mean, I'd say whichever one of these breaks first is going to be your best bet, in terms of picking a direction. But seems like that should be pretty straightforward given how this is playing out. What's NAS, Fareed? I'll add it to my list. NAS, BTC, Nebulous. Okay. I always like to add another one to my list. I do a watch list scan once a week for Bitcoin Live, and I like to go through every play on my watch list and talk about what my thought processes are. And the theme of that is let me teach you how to fish. Because I don't want to just give people plays. I want them to learn how to find them themselves, and that's what I'm all about. And I'll talk more about that later, of course, in regards to Bitcoin Live. So NAS, all right. I mean, it's pretty weak, obviously, and it's having trouble finding support. I'm just going to zoom out. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see much to hang your hat on if you're a bull. I mean, this is okay here. You have a little bit of a push. But, I mean, if you start to break above that 1700 area, then I'd be impressed. Excuse me. It looks like it's going to be hard to break above it because it was a clear support area and then resistance. So that's your level of significance. Even if you went there now, you'd be in the upper Bollinger Band. you would need to pull back. It would be suggestive of a pullback. Stochastic is kind of already getting towards overbought and just OBV weakness. So I would be very careful with this one. That's what I have to say. Hey, thanks for your comment, Akin Remy. Why do we only have 85 people watching? So I don't really do shows that often. I like to, when I do the shows, I like to do them. I really like to touch base with you guys. But I have to put a lot of my work onto Bitcoin Live and the best of my work and kind of, so if I wasn't doing that, you'd see me on YouTube more, and then you'd probably have, a lot of other people watching. So that's the thing with YouTube. You literally have to do a show every day to build up an audience. So if you guys have questions, give me a couple more of those chart requests. I can probably fit in a few more here. ADA for YMB. Let's take a look at ADA. ADA does have nice volume in this candle that's ending in 9 minutes. So ADA, I've been watching ADA. I want to watch to see if this EMA 8 can cross the 34. It was unable to do so. It's flirting with it right now. You can see the last time the price was turned back at the EMA 34, albeit on weak volume. Is it the same thing going to happen here? We'll have to see. RSI is already getting up there in the 60s. So it looks okay, but it's just been so weak. I mean, this is obviously a really nice candle, but it's been so weak. So I wouldn't overreact to this. I mean, it's fine to keep an eye on it, but to get through 1,000, I think that would really get my attention. If you can break through 1,000, you can see why it's an important level. I just zoomed out, back in September. Seems pretty obvious. Steven, I've done XRP. So you should be able to go back. Oh, it's 1 a.m. in Europe and 6 a.m. in Asia. So what the ideal time for me to do this would be in like 4 or 5 hours right before bed when people are up. That's interesting. Anyway, HOT for EDU. I think I still have that one on my watch list. HOT BTC, very tight range, not a lot of volume. I don't know why you'd be watching this one. This just looks terrible. Are you just stuck in it? EDU, are you just stuck in this one or what? There's no volume. It's a perpetual. Is there another server for this that has more volume? Another exchange? Let's go to Binance. Let's give it a fair shot here. 14 Satoshis. Yeah, I mean, there's not much of a chart. There's not a lot of volume in this one. It's probably mostly wash trading. So if you're in this one, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I guess that's what I would say. David, do you have a question about NEO? Let's take a look at NEO. So NEO, okay, so NEO right now has to deal with this. It's working through a very important level. We can see in this candle the lower shadow came right to that 1850 area roughly. It served as support here at the end of November, and resistance here with this inverted hammer and the long-legged doji. So right here, right now we have some decent volume. RSI looks good. OBV's trying to come off the bottom. I have a nice trajectory in the Vigor Index. But this is a tough level for NEO to break through. So if this can break through and hold support, I want, right here, close, candle close. I'd really want to see 1850. Yeah, I mean, if this can continue to close above 1850, I think we can start to talk about maybe a trend change. At least short term. Let's see. Let's do TRX for SIL. TRX. Yeah, it's been on a really nice run. I mean, there's no denying that. But I'm a skeptic as always. I'm looking for signs. So we're seeing a potential break in the volume trend. So this looks like it's getting ready to either break out or break down. just based on that volume trend. You know, a little bit of bearish divergence with the RSI, the lower high, but I'm not too worried about that. Although I do have it with the OBV as well. There's a bearish divergence with the OBV. So I would be probably taking some profit here if I've been in this trade. And you can see it clearly corresponds with a prior resistance. We had this near tweezer top with this, you know, shooting star back on October 8th. So it actually makes sense for TRX to pause here. So I would be cautious for this. I'll be cautious on this one in the short term. Let's take a look at VET for Nixlax. And we have just a few minutes left. Looks like this will be the last one. We'll do one more. We'll do ZRX afterwards. VET right now, some really nice volume, but I want to see it break and hold above, you know, that 113. We're right here. This is a clearly a key level. Prior support turned into resistance. If we can break above and hold it, that will get my attention. But the rest of the chart looks so weak, and this could really just be a brief oversold bounce. So, unfortunately, I'm not convinced yet on VET. You're welcome. Let's take a look at ZRX. ZRX here, 8,300. So we still have higher lows in the bigger picture. This is a very important area, very important level. If we do fall further, 7,500 really needs to hold. Short term, we are not holding our lows. We're seeing essentially, we saw a key breakdown here just recently, but I believe that breakdown was due to like a news about a fork. But it's not really forking, and I don't quite understand it, but this could have been a breakdown on an FA reason for the chart to break down. I think in the bigger picture, if it can hold above 7,500, that's a great sign. You have some pretty clear resistance to keep an eye on here in the short term. If we can break back up above 9,100, that would be a very good sign for ZRX. Let's just kind of circle back. Mr. T is right. You're right. I said 6K was the bottom, and it clearly was not. You're so right. Yep, it broke down. I thought it was the bottom. I had some nice bullish divergence, and it broke down. 100% right. Let's go to let's finish up on Bitcoin. So we talked about it's BNB. Let's go to Bitcoin. We talked about on the daily chart how we were attempting to break the middle Bollinger for the first time in a while. There is some nice volume on this candle. We are looking like we're going to be closing above and holding the EMA 8. So we're going to keep an eye on that. But let's zoom in a little closer to try to get a sense of what's going on. Now, while we're watching this move, as this move is unfolding, we're going to want to watch this EMA 8 to see if we can hold support on the uptrend. A lot of the times in a severe, like a good downtrend or good uptrend, the EMA 8 will hold as support. So that's your rally point on the pullback. Depending on how this plays out, we could be seeing some type of falling wedge breakout here, right? There's your consolidation. There's your falling wedge. Will it break out? We don't know. We're watching the volume trends. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. In the short term, I would definitely be watching the high of this long-legged doji right at 34.40. If it doesn't break out here in this wedge, if it pulls back, I will want to keep an eye on that to see if it's going to continue. And with that, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. You can, of course, find me on Twitter at Big Cheds. And you can find my good friend on Twitter at Chonas Trading, on YouTube at Chonas Trading, as well as at Big Chonas. He does a really great job. And I'm very proud to, that he's joined us as a featured contributor at Bitcoin Live, where he puts out a lot of great content. I am one of 6 full-time teachers and analysts at Bitcoin Live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. I put out, updates in the mornings. I put out, weekly watch list scans, as well as trading articles on trading psychology and timely alerts. but you get access to everyone's material when you sign up. That's what's nice about it. And you can see what we're all about. I'm really proud to be part of this. You can check out our webinars on YouTube for the different teachers and analysts. We also have other contributors in addition to this who are putting out content. We've recently added a monthly as well as a quarterly option for you to try out the platform before committing for a full year, which is the best deal, of course. And with that, I want to thank you all for joining me for a show. You can reach out to me on YouTube, on Twitter, if you guys have any questions. I really, I loved that you were able to give me those charts to look at. I really enjoyed interacting with you. And with that, I wish you all the best, and I will talk to you guys soon. Cheds out.